Hey, how's it going? It's Chris. I've had a bunch of people asking me about meal prep and what I've been doing with the weight loss stuff and eating and all that crap. So, figured I'd make a little video showing y'all one of my favorite salads. I've been on a 2 week rotation. So, basically, week one is cut week, and that's going to be this week. And I do what I call a bang bang chicken salad. Here's Nora. Can you say hi? She's shy. Bang bang chicken salad for lunch, and this week I'm doing kind of a modified pho for dinner. Soup and salad. Um, that's it. No snacking. Cut week is hard, but I do large portions of low calorie food, so I'm not hungry. And I'm losing about a pound a day, or that's what I did. That's what I averaged the first week, was about a pound a day. So it's definitely worth it. And the food's great. I love it. So anyway, we'll get into that. And then the week two of the rotation is my normal diet, which is 1,500 calorie max. I try to come in under that. And I eat smaller portions of higher calorie foods so that I don't get burnt out and I'm able to still have some of the things that I like to eat. I mean, I like to eat all of it, but you know, you want chocolate and stuff like that. I do that on my week two. So, and then what else was I going to say? And then I'm intermittent fasting the entire time. So I skip breakfast. I eat breakfast maybe twice a month on the weekend if I feel like it. But pretty much I'm intermittent fasting every day. So I skip breakfast, break fast at about 11:30. Try to have dinner by no later than 6:30, and no calories after that. So let's prep this salad. All right, so this first part's pretty easy. Try to do it one-handed like Chang does. We're gonna start with 2 cups of water. This is a 4X recipe because, like I said, I'm doing it for the whole week. And then we have, I try to buy these organic, the best quality proteins I can. I'm eating less food, so I feel like I can spend a little bit more and get more nutritional value out of it. So I have 2 packages of this. I'm gonna go down in here. It's all right if it sticks out of the water a little bit because we're gonna steam it with a lid. And then we have about that much ginger and 3 green onions cut into thirds. And then just put that in there, throw a lid on it, and then we'll talk about the liquids that I'm going to use to make the dressing. All right, we come to a boil, so I turned it down on low and I'll set a timer for 7 minutes. While that's going, we'll get the dressing and everything else ready. Sorry, the house is kind of a mess today. We got to do what we got to do. So the first thing, just to get it out of the way, it calls for, the recipe that I found calls for a teaspoon of Szechuan peppercorns and half a teaspoon of salt. I've made this recipe a bunch of times and I've found that for my taste, that's way too much. It's very, Szechuan peppercorns, if you've never had them before, are very tingly, and it'll make your entire mouth tingle if you use that proportion. And that's not really what I want. I want just a little bit. So you can buy these at the Asian market. They're called prickly ash, which is the same thing as peppercorn. So, you just have to look. The Szechuans are going to be reddish to maroon colored, but they'll have black pepper and white pepper also labeled as prickly ash. So anyway, we're going to make that right now in my spice grinder, which I didn't clean last time. So I can show y'all how to do that. Just take a piece of bread. This is just a regular coffee grinder, but it's dedicated to spices. So whatever spice was in there last time, I don't want that mixed in. So I'm gonna throw some bread in here, and that'll just soak up whatever's left in there. If I can get it going, might have a little too much bread. Doesn't take much. I used a whole slice there, but you don't have to. So I don't like to wash this because then your spices get all gooified. So we can just do it this way, and then my trash is full too. I'm gonna have to set the camera down for just a second and wipe this out with a dry towel. All right, you can see that got pretty clean. Now we're gonna make some more of this spice mix, and you know, I've been a cook for 30 years, so I don't really measure stuff at home too much. That's probably a little more than a teaspoon. We'll call that a teaspoon right there. It's close enough. So we're gonna do a teaspoon of peppercorns, and then we're just gonna top this off with salt. That's probably good. You don't want to, I don't like to overgrind it because it'll powder the salt, which it kind of did. But it's fine. It's not the end of the world. So, got a little spice jar here. I keep my Szechuan salt in. So there we go. Now, looks like the stuff on the bottom is oxidized a little bit. So I'm just gonna shake them together. Even it out. It's about good. So now for the recipe, when I make it, I use the same amount of volume, but now I have a lower proportion of Szechuan peppercorn to salt. So I'm still going to do a teaspoon and a half of this salt mix, but it's going to be more salt than Szechuan peppercorn. So let's talk about the dressing. These are the ingredients that I use. You can just buy Kikkoman from the grocery store if you have to, but I recommend going to an Asian market if you're going to be making this a lot, because these products taste much better than what's at your Kroger or even HEB, and they're cheaper. Like a tiny little bottle of Kikkoman, like this size, at HEB is going to run you about $5 or $6. This is $3 for like a liter. I think it's like a liter. It's 20 ounces, 600 milliliters, so like almost 2/3 of a liter, and is really good. Has a great flavor. So we use the Golden Mountain seasoning sauce. This is going to be our soy. We got this Kong Yin black vinegar is what I use. I kind of just use whatever sesame oil is cheapest at the Asian market. A little bit of chili oil, and the recipe calls for sugar, but I'm not really eating sugar right now. There's a timer on the chicken, so let's go check it out. And it should be done. Alexa, off. So we're just gonna put it over here on the back eye and let it sit for a minute while we do everything else, and then we'll get that taken care of. So these are the ingredients, and then I like these little ball jars. They're this is a pint. So it's graduated here on the side, so we can easily multiply this recipe up. Sorry, I got cut off. We can easily multiply this recipe up just using the graduated markings on the side. So the recipe that I have calls for 2 parts soy sauce. So we're gonna start with that. And I'm gonna go up to the second line. Each line is 1/4 cup. So that'll be 1/2 cup of soy sauce total. And this is gonna last me all week. I should get 6 meals out of this. So there's the soy sauce. Black vinegar is 1 1/3. So we're gonna do just a little over 1/4. Call that good. Again, it's all to taste, so it's not the end of the world. Like I was saying, I'm not using sugar. I'm not eating sugar right now, but what I am doing is adding just a little bit of agave. It mixes well, and it's a little easier for the body to process than sugar. The recipe calls for 2 tablespoons for a single recipe, but I'm just going to use 1 tablespoon for a 6-time recipe. So, and then what do we got? 1 1/2 parts sesame oil. So we'll do between 1/4 cup and 1/2 cup. And then 1 part chili oil. So that'll be 1/4 cup of chili oil. And it looks like I'm low. Well, I ran out of chili oil. Not to fear. We'll make up the difference with a little more sesame oil. Should be fine. You could also just use vegetable oil if you want to, or just omit some of it. And then 1/2 tablespoon of the Szechuan salt. And I have a little bit left over from last time, so I'm just going to add that to it. And actually, that would be perfect. But it has, we're going to use some of the stock from the chicken too, so I need to use a bigger jar. But that's all right, because I got one. And it's also graduated. So we're just going to pour all this into here. And then I got to strain the chicken juice and figure out how much I'm going to use, and then we'll be back. All right, I think we're ready to finish it up now. The chicken wasn't quite done all the way, so I had to turn it back on for just a second. We're going to take the breast out. Put them in this bag here. The recipe that I found said to ice bath the chicken. I don't think that's really necessary. Of course, it wouldn't hurt if you want to, but it's an extra step, extra dishes. You know, I'm just trying to get this done while my wife and kids are occupied. So I gotta see if I can zip this up. So we're gonna just throw the chicken in a Ziploc, zip it up. I would normally just throw it in the fridge at this point, but I'm gonna put it in the freezer for a minute because I want to try to. Could have ice bathed it. That would have probably been a way to do that faster, but you know, whatever. I don't care if y'all don't care. So, and the broth we're adding to the dressing that we made, 1 cup, and I'm just gonna try to pour some of this off without straining it. Be safe. You know, like your parents said, do as I say, not as I do. So we're gonna add 1 cup to this, which is like way less than it's said to add. But you know, I've made this a bunch of times before, and I know how I like it is with you know, a lot more soy flavor and not as watered down. But the chicken does give it a great flavor, so I think it needs that. I just personally, for me, I tone it down a little bit. That's pretty much it. Now we're gonna build one. And I don't know how I'm gonna do this quite with holding the camera like Chang does. It's gonna be a little difficult. Maybe I can flip the camera and set it down. Let me see if I can figure that out. All right, we're gonna have to have that work. I think it'll be all right. So the quote-unquote lettuce in this is cabbage. This is Napa cabbage, which is what I always use. You're welcome to use lettuce if you want to, but this is gonna have a higher micronutrient content and basically just be healthier, for lack of a better term. So to me, it's like if your point of eating this is because you want to eat something that tastes great, then you pick the Napa cabbage. If you're eating it to be healthy, then you pick the Napa cabbage. So we're gonna cut the root end off, toss that in the trash. You could use that to make stocks if you wanted to, but I don't have time for that kind of stuff this week. So I'm just gonna toss it because I don't want it to be in my freezer for the next 3 months. Then we're gonna quarter this head lengthwise. So just go straight down the middle. Set one half of it aside. And this doesn't have to be perfect, man. This is for you to eat, not for some restaurant, so don't worry about it. Cut it in half, again, lengthwise, flat side down. And then I want to turn this so you can kind of see what I'm doing. I've got it set up like this, and I'm going to slice it as thin as I can. It doesn't have to be paper thin. You know, like I said, it's for you, so however you like to eat it. Just go ahead and cut down. There's a big head of cabbage, so it's going to be kind of hard to get the knife all the way through it in one stroke, but you can clean it up a little bit at the end. All right, my board's getting crowded, so I'm just going to take handfuls of this. I got a colander waiting in the sink, so I'm going to take all of the stuff that's been chopped, transfer it to the colander to get washed. And this is all of what I've done so far is the meal prep portion of this meal. So I would do this at the beginning of the week, like Monday, today. And then once I wash it, I'm gonna let it dry really good. And then I'm gonna put it in a gallon Ziploc bag and try to press as much air out as I can. And then I'll just go into that bag every day and fill up my container. And then I'm gonna show y'all how to build one too. Might have to wait for Natalie to get back to build one because I'm gonna need her to hold the camera while I cut, I think. But maybe we can figure it out. So we're gonna do the second head. And all those leaves that fell off, I just set them to the side. We're gonna go back and chop those too. The super green outer leaves have lots of great micronutrients. And just take those outer leaves and run through it. No need to be wasteful. I'm eating this every day this week except for one day. So I've got 6 days worth I'm making here. And my portion will be one chicken breast, basically 1/6 of this cabbage, some vegetables, 1/6 of the dressing. And each day I'll build that in my little Tupperware thing, and Now we're gonna stop, drop, open up shop. We're gonna wash this. Should have cleaned my sink out. You know, obviously not trying to impress anybody here. Got a sink full of dirty dishes. I got garbage can full of diapers over here. I'm not trying to be Gordon Ramsay. I'm trying to just show you guys that, you know, no matter how busy your life is, you can find time to do this if you really want to. And you know, as soon as I get done prepping this and making this video, I'm gonna clean up the damn kitchen. Probably should have done the video after, but that's just not the way mine and my wife's schedules worked out today. So that's washed. Now we're just gonna let it sit here in the sink and dry for a while. You can toss the rest of the chicken juice. You only use that 1 cup. Yeah, next we're gonna build one. All right, here we go. Let's assemble this. So this, I like to transfer some of my dressing into this because this is measured also. And I know from experience that this is 3 portions. It's a half pint, 1 cup. So I'm doing about 1/3 of a cup per dressing. So just shake that up. And it looks like this is probably gonna be enough for more than 6, but so throw that in my lunch. This goes in the fridge for the remainder. We did not mix that up with the broth. That would be horrible. We'll do the chicken last. So we're gonna build it. I'm gonna take cabbage and I'm gonna fill this bowl up with it. This is a massive salad. So I'm looking at probably about 400 calories here. It's crazy. And almost all of that is from the dressing and the chicken. These vegetables, probably like 75 calories for all the vegetables together. So the next thing, you can do this with a knife, no problem. I do this a lot, so I bought this because it's easier for me. In the morning, normally I do this in the morning before work. So in the morning, it's dark, I don't want to get a cutting board out, a knife, all that crap. I just pick this up and slice it right into the salad. I do about 1/3 of a cucumber. Watch your fingertips. This costs less than surgery, so just throw the nub in the garbage when you're done. I'm not gonna use this whole thing, so I'm not gonna throw it away. But anyway, that's about good. And then some carrot. Same thing, you know, maybe 1/4 of a carrot. And then if I had radish, you could do radish, you could do edamame, you could do some bean sprouts, any kind of vegetable you want. Just try to keep it to stuff that's very low calories, so nothing that's high in sugar. You could do some cilantro, you could do basil, you can do green onions, mushrooms, a lot of different stuff. So this is the salad base. This is how much food we're talking about here, plus the chicken breast I'm about to do and the dressing. I mean, it's crazy. So this is where the name comes from, Bang Bang. You take your chilled chicken breast. This is still a little bit warm, but through the magic of television, you won't know that because I'm not going to tell you. You take a rolling pin or a pot or a pan or whatever you want. You start banging the shit out of the chicken. Bang, 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 bang. And it just shreds to pieces. All right, that's all done. I'm gonna grab a glove and we're gonna put the chicken on the salad. Like I said, that was 6 chicken breasts. I'm doing about 1 chicken breast per day. So, you know, I just estimate it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you know, just put your shredded chicken on there and then that's all ready to go. Boom. You want to get a picture of it? Look at that. Right over the diaper trash. And then put the lid on it, throw this in my lunchbox, throw this in my lunchbox, and when I'm ready to eat, I'm gonna shake the shit out of this, pour about 1/3 of it in here, shake this up real good, eat the fuck out of it.